Here's your money briefing for Friday, June 9th. I'm J.R. Whalen for the Wall Street Journal. The rising cost of airfares and hotel rooms has made it a lot more expensive to travel this summer compared to last year. And then there are the fees. Travel columnist Dawn Gilbertson joins us. So Dawn, we saw airlines and other travel companies eliminate some fees during the pandemic. Is the return of so many fees the clearest sign to date that, we've returned to normal?
I mean, it is definitely one sign. I mean, some fees didn't go away. The most notable fee that did go away during the pandemic, in fact, permanently in many cases, are those airline ticket change fees. They used to be as much as $200 or $250 a ticket. So those are gone for good. But people need to know that doesn't apply to all airline tickets.
You've been with us before talking about fees on basic economy tickets. Are those on the rise?
They're not necessarily on the rise. It's just a lot of people don't realize that they're back, because airlines permanently eliminated change fees on regular tickets, during the pandemic. They're back on basic economy tickets. So in some cases, on those no-frill tickets, you can't change at all. In others, you'll still pay a fee of, $100 to $200 if you can change them. So it's just really something travelers have to keep in mind, when they click buy on the cheapest ticket.
When President Biden talked about going to war against junk fees a few months ago, he mentioned fees on airline tickets. Has anything come about from that?
Nothing yet. Obviously, all these fees and this industry is under a microscope by President Biden and the U.S. Department of Transportation. But those proposals tend to take quite a long time to wind through the government. So we haven't seen anything solid on that front yet.
Now, airline fees are often public enemy number one. But as you wrote in your reporting, hotels have gotten in on the act also. What should people reserving hotel rooms watch out for?
Obviously, resort fees are, enemy number one when it comes to hotels. I was in Las Vegas. The resort fee at the hotels I stayed in was, between $40 and $50 a night. Mandatory. But, we all know about those fees generally, but then there's some smaller fees that people need to be aware of. A lot of people today maybe want to have, say, Amazon groceries delivered to the hotel or something they forgot. A lot of hotels charge a package handling fee. Marriott charges $10.
Just to have a package delivered to the room?
Yeah, to the front desk, yep.
Now, you spoke to a California resident who found a long list of fees on his hotel bill. What were they charging him for?
Well, yeah, he didn't realize it till he got home. So many of us don't, and this is one thing that, travelers really need to pay attention to. So many people don't look at their receipt, until they get home, and it's too late to, go to the front desk and say, whoa, what is this? And this man, he was at a conference in Scottsdale, Arizona, and he found a $10 bellman gratuity. He didn't use the bellman. He found a $3 daily housekeeping fee, and he had already left cash for the housekeeper. And then he found a credit card processing fee, which I have not come across very frequently. So he wasn't very happy.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, if somebody does leave money for the housekeeping staff, is there a way to get out of that fee that might be applied by the hotel later on?
I mean, you can certainly try. My MO with all these types of fees is to talk to the front desk. Say the resort fee, say, it covers the pool and it covers all this different stuff, and you didn't use that or it was closed during your stay. I believe you have a legitimate case for saying, can you please remove this from my room? And I did that as recently as this weekend.
Oh, what happened to you?
I had a flight cancellation on an airline that shall be unnamed at the moment, and I was stranded in Las Vegas. So I checked into this hotel at 1 a.m. at my own expense, and the resort fee was going to be $40. And I was leaving the next day, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to use any of your amenities. Would you kindly take it off? And she did.
It can also get kind of expensive to rent a car. So what kind of fees are creeping into people's bills there?
Another area to really pay close attention to. I've heard from some readers who looked at their bill and saw like a $15 or $16 fuel service charge when they had filled up the tank. So really be careful and get a receipt, and don't leave that lot until they acknowledge the receipt that the gas tank is indeed full, so you can avoid that fee. Another one that I came across pretty much by accident, I was on the phone with a airline CEO on an interview, and he was returning a Tesla to the Hartford airport, and he hadn't charged it fully, and they dinged him $35.
Oh, wow. So this is a case where people need to really read the fine print on their contracts really well.
Oh, for sure. Just pay attention, or ask. They upgraded him to a Tesla at no charge. He thought he'd try one. He was in a rush, and just didn't charge it. And I'd never heard of that fee. It makes perfect sense, but I had never heard of it.
By the way, I read in your column about restaurants charging people for ice in their drink. How is that going over?
Well, this whole craft cocktail boom, right? And so there was a case in Las Vegas at the Luxury Wynn Resort where somebody posted a receipt that showed a $3.50 craft ice fee. And I reached out to the hotel, and it turns out they are changing suppliers, and that fee will no longer be charged. Can't make this up.
What power do travelers have here? You mentioned that you can go to the front desk, but are there ways to avoid paying some of these fees by the way that you make the reservation?
Yes, for sure. I mean, there's certain places, Las Vegas for one of them. It's very, very, very hard to avoid resort fees in Las Vegas. But in other cities, say in New York or Chicago, they may be known as a different thing like destination fees or amenity fees. But there are some that don't charge them. So in your shopping, click on those taxes and fee details. And if there's something there that rubs you the wrong way, don't stay there. Book somewhere else. I talked to a traveler last week who, a super frequent flyer, stays in Marriott all the time. And it's not a resort. It's a city hotel in Boston. And he decided he's not staying there anymore because they were charging this fee and he got no use out of it.
That's Wall Street Journal travel columnist Dawn Gilbertson. And that's it for your Money Briefing this week. Our supervising producer is Melanie Roy. And our executive producer is Chris Sinsley. I'm your host, J.R. Whalen. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend.